system that benefit the community, the environment, and the local economy. Food is an important part of all of our lives, and everyone cares about it, and food security is something everyone should be involved in. A charter is useful for communities and decision makers like yourselves because it creates opportunities for conversations about food, and it encourages us to work collaboratively to improve our local food system. Endorsing a food charter means making a formal commitment around food and integrating food into decision-making and future policy development. At least 18 municipalities and regions in Ontario already have made a formal commitment or are in the process of doing so, as you can see here illustrated on the map. The Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter presents a vision of what a healthy food system would look like for our community. It is based on 6 values: health, education, sustainable economic development, environmental health, culture, and social justice. I will now review each of these values and provide some examples of how food supports building a healthier community. The first value, health, recognizes food as an essential component to well-being. Sarnia-Lambton is certainly home to some of the richest agricultural land in the province, but when we look at some of the health indicators of Sarnia-Lambton residents compared to the province, we are significantly more overweight and obese. We are less likely to consume 5 vegetables or fruit daily, and we also have higher rates of heart disease. Endorsing the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter means that you value health. The next value, education, recognizes the need for food-related skills and knowledge, including growing, cooking, preserving food, and meal planning. Many consumers have lost the knowledge necessary to make informed food decisions, and this loss of food skills has significant consequences on consumer choice, diet, and health. Endorsing the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter means you support opportunities to improve food-related skills and knowledge. The value sustainable economic development recognizes how local food supports our community. Buying local food keeps money in our community, and it provides employment opportunities for community members. If every Sarnia-Lambton household spent $10 on local food, it would add $570,000 to our local economy. But in order for this to happen, local food needs to be readily accessible. Strengthening the links between local producers and consumers would help to accomplish this, as well as strengthen our community's growth, development, and self-reliance. Endorsing the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter means that you support local food and agriculture initiatives and value sustainable economic development. The value environmental health recognizes that food production and waste management impact our water, air and soil, agriculture areas, and ecosystems. For example, producing and buying local food can support environmental health by reducing greenhouse gas emissions associated with food transportation. Also, sustainable agricultural practices can conserve and enhance our natural environment. Endorsing the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter means that you value environmental health. The value culture recognizes that food provides opportunities to celebrate, promote, respect, and connect different cultures. Food is something that connects us all. Opportunities to celebrate food is a key strategy for community connection and collaboration. Such initiatives include farmers markets, community gardens, collective kitchens, and cultural festivals. Endorsing the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter means that you value culture. The value of social justice recognizes that every Lambton County resident should have access to an adequate supply of nutritious, affordable, and safe food without social and economic barriers. The Circles Initiative is one local example that promotes social justice in Sarnia-Lambton by building relationships across class and race lines, identifying barriers that keep people in poverty, and implementing Endorsing the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter means that you value social justice. We are here today to ask the Council of Lambton Shores to endorse the Sarnia-Lambton Food Charter. Endorsing the food charter is declaring your commitment to supporting a healthy food system and a healthier community. It does not cost money, we often get that question, but it is making the commitment that when these areas come up in your agenda, that food is considered and these values are respected in your decision making and or future policy development, which will ultimately work to create a healthier community in your area. On behalf of the Sarnia-Lambton Food Coalition, we thank you for your time.
Well done. Would you ask council if they have any questions for you? Do you mind staying here for a moment?
Certainly, we'd love to entertain some questions.
Or comments?
Make a motion to endorse the
Sarnia-Lambton Charter. And Council Watson seconding that. Any other questions with regards to this charter? Council Russell, do you have a question?
No, not a question. I have a comment.
Yes, Council Rogers.
Will this hold out exactly where we were going with our strategic planning earlier when we were tying together economic development, culture, heritage, agriculture? It's all there. We just built the community gardens and parks. We're looking at this as a whole, and we do respect and we understand agriculture is our biggest industry in National Shores, and we've got to be able to incorporate that in our decision making processes to make everything we do, and I fully endorse that recommendation.
Well said. Council Russell.
I fully endorse it too, and it's an excellent program. And I think what I'd like to do is just to the staff, I guess, Debbie, that the copies of this become part of our planning processes.
Excellent.
As Councilor Underwood just explained, this is part and parcel of what we're all about. And I think we did such an excellent job through the process. I know my boss told me all about the process. You were part of it, and you should be commended. What you did, you brought something to a good level in terms of your interpretation. It's not overwordy, and it all makes sense. And it just goes, I think, what Councilor Underwood said.
Thank you.
Councilor Wyland and Councilor Watson.
So have you approached local food producers in the county?
They were part of the consultation from the beginning, when I mentioned where we started, when we had the roundtable discussions across the county. Food producers were targeted as key stakeholders to be involved in what were issues for them. And so, yes, they were called upon, and probably the highest representation was in Clinton, Wyoming, potentially. We had quite a few farmers there. But they were involved in the consultation, and they were, again, connected with the summit. And so at that point, we collected our evidence and direction, and we have been at this point connected with producers to get in further comments.
I just wanted to mention too, we do also have some producers on the food coalition who were involved in their action plan.
I think so. You follow up with me too.
Do you plan on taking this to retail grocers, larger grocers like your Loblaws, your Milkos? Because a lot of these places are in our local communities, and that's the biggest challenge that local businesses have, breaking into the same and getting into the establishments.
That's an interesting question. We're not necessarily taking it to retailers ourselves. If municipalities wanted to work with retailers to help support them in connecting with local food, that would be something that we would encourage municipalities to do. One thing that we are going to be doing in the fall of this year is looking at specific policy directions on access to healthy food, and retailers would be called upon as engagement in looking at potential policy directions. So they will be engaged, or we will be looking to engage with them at that point, because we certainly know that there's red tape, and more red tape the bigger the grocery store, in the ability for local producers to get their food in a grocer. So, certainly we can be supportive of farmers markets and farm-gate sales, but when you get into the grocer itself, there tends to be more issues and more for bigger grocers, as I mentioned. But smaller communities probably have the advantage, certainly in that way.
Councilor Watson.
I think what you're